Sorry, I got you a gift.
You got me this?
Yeah,
Are you serious?
Fred. I know you love Fred.
See me a hug there, man. That's so nice of you.
Fred, of course.
Oh, wow.
My pleasure.
Shit, Jeff.
So you got the pomades in there, hair products.
Wow.
Boxes,
Jeff,
yeah.
thank you so much, man.
Man, you got great energy.
Wow.
You're a good kid. I'm happy we're finally.
This is
doing
crazy. This actually literally proves anything is like possible, you know. I think I had a fanboy moment. So I've interviewed a lot of people, other YouTubers. I won't say their names, but I haven't really watched their videos much.
Mm-hmm.
Because your videos, it was in 2020 lot. That's quite embarrassing me to say even.
No,
like,
no,
wait.
I need to hear that because I see you interviewing all these cool fighters and stuff. You got all the YouTube boxers and everything, and you are familiar with my stuff. And I haven't had a boxing match yet, so I'm curious how you found out about my stuff or how you found me.
Well, it's obviously through David's vlogs I found about you, and then you discover your channel. And I remember seeing the first podcast episode. I was like, "Oh, there's so many sound effects. This isn't that good." But then
Too many sound effects. We get those comments.
But then I listened to the whole episode. I listened to another one. I get a dry humor, and I think you over here in Britain would kill because everyone has dry humor over there. And in the States, when people take the piss out of American people, they don't like it. They don't get it.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. People take themselves too serious. For me, I always tried to make my show a little shitty on purpose. All my content, I like to make it like I'm not taking things too serious. And why I'm out here is because of Chad's fight, Churdley's. And he's a guy that doesn't take himself too serious, and I think that'll give him an advantage in boxing, you know? The other guy posted a video saying that he quit everything for this. Jay. Nice kid. I like him a lot, but that puts more pressure on you as a fighter, as a crossover fighter. Because if you're going to leave behind your content to go fight, then you better be good. You know, Chad has not missed a week of posting videos. he's been taking his comedian career very serious. This won't come out till after the fight, right? So Chad got knocked out. What can I say? Who would have thought? You know? Main event.
Chad's dead.
Yeah, we had it.
The funeral's next week.
Man, it's a serious sport. We don't want to disrespect the sport.
Yeah, we can't. No, the dead. I take that back with dead joke. You're down boxing.
Yeah.
It's not good for me to say.
I told him, I was like, you know, people do die in boxing. He goes, no way. I'm like, bro, you know, I got to give it to him. When he took this fight, he said, I'm going to do this. I don't care who my opponent is. And he got mixed up with Keemstar, and I think Keemstar did the matchmaking for him. So that's how you could tell it's such a shitty matchup. You know, Jay obviously has been at it for 4 years. The kid's good. I've seen footage of him. He's good. We're just playing games with him, you know. I don't know if he thinks that we're doing mind games. We genuinely just don't give a fuck. You know, it's like nothing YouTube boxing has ever seen before. A group of guys that come in and just clown everything. And we don't want to disrespect boxing. Obviously, I love boxing. I love combat sports. And I take it very serious. I have a lot of friends that are fighters, put their whole life into this. But for somebody like Chad, he is just a goofball, and he's an entertainer. And I think people lose touch of you are an entertainer, and that's why you're even able to box. A lot of these YouTube boxers just get too into it, take it too serious, and then you lose the entertainment aspect of it. Just go become a pro boxer then, you know?
Exactly. I love the crossover boxing. I find it so fun. Like normal boxing, when you do an interview, it can be a bit dry. It'll be kind of a bit straight up. They're a bit boring. There's a man in the hour, Chad.
Right now.
Yeah.
He's alive. He approves.
Yeah, we were just saying how, you know, we predicted everything, how you're going to fucking go out there and smash, and nobody knows shit. Nobody.
Yeah, you've won already.
Yeah,
Undoubtedly.
Yeah, we won.
Pop in.
Won. Should I clap in?
Yeah.
But like I was saying at the start, the first time, make sure we get everyone on the camera here. The first time I found about you was in lockdown. Everyone's a bit down, isn't it? Because obviously COVID's here. And I go on, it's really embarrassing. I go on Jeff Wittek's Funny Moments Part 1. Okay. And I go all the way to like Part 10. I watch all of them, and I liked it. When I was hanging with my mates, I'd say the same jokes you did.
I didn't make those videos.
Yeah.
I didn't make those edits. So
videos?
It was like
It's the fan edits.
yeah, they would just group together clips of random YouTube videos that I did and like best moments and stuff. But that's interesting. So that's how you got wins. Yeah, they're nuts. I have a lot of people that are like sympathy fans of me, and then I have fans of the comedy stuff. People that just like my mental health talk. Some people hate it. You know, I'm sure you come on there and you're like, oh, he's complaining about his eye again. I got to skip this episode. You know, my last episode of my podcast, I cried for an hour about my dog dying. You know, like,
I haven't listened to that one yet.
Oh, okay, don't even listen. I can't listen to it. Yeah, I couldn't even look at it. It was really tough. But it's good that I'm out here now taking my mind off of stuff. You know, I love that guy Nerf. He's a part of me. He's gone now. R.I.P. He's looking down on us. He'll be looking down at you on that fight tomorrow.
Literally looking down.
Yeah.
Doing this for Nerf, baby.
That's right. It's all for Nerf.
All for Nerf.
Yeah, so that's interesting, Fred. You found me in the pandemic. I actually found my love for combat sports and boxing in the pandemic because UFC was the only thing that was able to continue. So I was like, damn, do I love this? Is this my favorite sport now? And I was like, yeah, I guess this is my favorite sport. I guess I love UFC now. And now we're a few years in. We're here doing interviews. We're interviewing fighters ourselves. And speaking of British humor, I learned the hard way by interviewing Bisping, you know?
His podcast, he still does a podcast, but I don't listen to it anymore. The prime time was when he did it with an American comedian called Louis J. Gomez.
Yeah.
And it was called I Believe You Me with Michael Bisping,
Oh,
their
okay.
podcast. And it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Because you got Bisping's like British sense of humor, and Lewis is like American sense of humor. And you can really tell the kind of worlds apart. But then I think they fell out, so they don't do it together anymore. I think Bisping still does it though. But I'm gonna listen to that episode.
Yeah.
He can get you.
Yeah, and so when I interviewed him, his eye, obviously, he has the prosthetic eye, and my eye's fucked up. So my injury was fresh. I was insecure. I'm looking at him in his eye, with my bad eye. It was just it was awkward. And then he started roasting the fuck out of me. He's like, all right, you're going to let me talk? And yeah, I learned the hard way about how Brits joke around. But Bisping, he's a different breed. Yeah, I mean, he'll rip your fucking eyeball out and eat it. That's what you should do to Jay.
Just rip it out with the gloves
Pull his
on.
eyeball out, yeah.
Yeah, those 10-ounce gloves, you could fucking use your thumbs.
Cut a finger hole in it.
Yeah.
All right, Dahmer. He's got the Dahmer in him. You see that?
I
Yeah.
haven't watched that yet. I haven't watched the Jeffrey Dahmer or anything like that.
Don't even bother.
Really?
You know what happens. He
Yeah,
kills
you-
people,
yeah.
eats them, and then goes to jail.
Yeah.
That's the whole story.
It's the whole story. And then they get like hot shots of him though. So they want him to be hot.
Loads of girls love Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Don't loads of girls love Jeffrey Dahmer now?
It's so dumb. Like, you wouldn't like the real one, you know? Just say you like the actor that's playing
Yeah,
him.
just say you like Evan Peters.
Yeah.
He's hot.
It's sick. Disgusting. The guy killed and ate people.
Yeah.
Why
Cannibalism.
Yeah, why would you want to be friends with that guy? But we're getting sidetracked here.
I want to talk about you though. I want to talk about your story though, Jeff.
Yeah, okay.
I never ever do notes for an interview. Ever.
Okay.
All my interviews I've never done notes before, but I've done a couple of ones for you. Let's talk about losing $200,000 in a phone call.
Ooh. Which phone call was that? I
Wait,
lost it a couple times. That phone call back in the drug dealing days
Yeah.
you're talking about. Okay, yeah. That was a tough time because you always lived with that uncertainty. Am I going to get killed? Am I going to get robbed? Am I going to get arrested? And I guess you kind of have that uncertainty in this job, in this business. And that's something that you'll never, no matter who you are, Fred. I know you're really good, really talented. You have a lot of relationships you're building here. But you always have that in the back of your mind as a creator or an entertainer. When is this going to run out? You know?
I think that's why I guess.
You already feel that at 18.
I've been feeling that since I started. Or I'm 18 now. I turned 18 in May. But since it kind of blew up back in March, kind of from 2,000 to 20,000. And now I'm nearly on 40,000. Why I'm not that cocky. It's why I'm how I am. That's why I'm kind of just messing around. I don't have an ego. It's because I know it can be taken away like that. It's gone.
And
so that's
ego
why
is the death of a career for an entertainer. Death of man, they call it. You know,
Yeah,
no
ego.
egos over here.
Yeah. Egos suck.
Well, you're allowed to have a bit of an ego in
Yeah,
fight
you
camp,
get-
but
you
after
get-
that,
yeah.
we go back to normal.
Yeah, then we go back to normal. Yeah, you gotta have a weird ego.
Yeah, then we go back to humble. We will be humble tomorrow.
Yeah.
We will be, the both of us.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
This is gonna be such a good interview to watch back, isn't it? On your podcast, you can clip this little bits of it.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're doing a little mockumentary thing on his training camp and stuff for it. It'll be interesting, Fred. We're just different, you know. We're trying to just throw a curveball into this whole crossover boxing thing.
Crossover, curveball, boom. Just how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. So about that $200,000 phone call that I was told that I had lost pretty much all of my capital, all my savings that I had built up, because that's what I was using to re-up. You buy a bunch of weed on the West Coast in America. So let me break this down for you guys that don't know. And it's all fine for me to talk about because I don't do it anymore. Obviously, I do social media or whatever the fuck.
Selling social media.
So early on, there was like a prohibition. You watched Boardwalk Empire? Are you
I haven't
familiar?
seen it. No.
So in the old days in the States, alcohol was illegal at one point, which is so ridiculous because, like, imagine trying to make alcohol illegal now. People will find a way to make it or do something illegal to still get it or get it shipped over, smuggle it. Bootleggers, you know, that's what that was about. So there was a gray area in the U.S. before they legalized weed where you could buy it on the West Coast where all of it was grown and produced. You could ship it to New York and double your money. So that's what I got into before I started doing social media. I worked in the barbershops, obviously, so I had a lot of connections. And once I got out to LA and started meeting farmers and stuff like that, I was able to get a lot of weed in bulk. And packages sometimes get seized. You lose your money. And I had, so one thing got seized and we all got in big trouble for it. And there's a lot of money that I found out that I lost in one phone call. And your heart drops. It's tough, but, everything happens for a reason. We're here now. And like I said, shit could still get pulled out from underneath you and you could lose everything whenever. That's life. But yeah, I learned early on that can happen. And I think it builds character and, teaches you a lot. Turns you into a man when you lose everything and have to build back up over and over again.
I lost £5 the other day and I was gutted. So losing £200,000 or $200,000.
Yeah.
Is that the most you ever lost?
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
I think you'd know if it wasn't.
I've had a lot of losses in life, It happens. It's just how you come back from them, with anything. Even now, I don't want to get emotional about my dog again, but, I talk to a lot of people losing something like that. It's tough, but you get better at dealing with it. It never goes away. Like, you'll always think about that 5 pounds you lost.
Yeah.
You'll remember that for life, but you'll just get better at dealing with it.
My £5, blimey. But your childhood, right? You had a bit of a different childhood. You grew up in New York. Say you grew up in LA with very, very wealthy parents. How much different do you think you'd be now if you hadn't had the childhood you'd had?
If I had the option, I definitely wouldn't change a thing. Mm-hmm. I always, not that I feel bad for kids that grow up with like celebrity parents or rich parents, because obviously, they have good lives. They just lack character and stuff like that. Like, I could tell you're putting in the work now at a young age, and you're building up your own personality and your own connections, and it's cool. Like, I wouldn't change a thing. I think it's good growing up and having to learn things on your own. You have a family, though, right? You're not just out here.
I'm an only child. I have my dad, my mum, and a dog.
Are you doing your own laundry?
Yeah, well, I'm at uni right now, up in Manchester.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you kind of obviously get thrown in the deep end, aren't you? Because you do your own cooking, you do your own laundry, that sort of thing. I prefer it though, because now I can stay up.
Dishes. You got to do your own laundry. That's life. You grow up and then you just got to do all this shit. You got to figure it out. Having a woman in your life, they could help you learn things like that.
Really?
Yeah. Because then you don't want to look like an asshole, not knowing how to do your laundry and stuff. So you learn for the girl. Yeah, you got it though, Fred. I'm sure you're good.
Okay, I have to bear that in mind. But I think some of the other things I do want to ask you about. If you don't want to talk about this at all, I can cut this out. But the David Dobrik situation.
Yeah.
If we don't,
Weasel, he owes me money.
If we don't, so is the lawsuit still going ahead?
Oh yeah. I mean that's more for me to. Personally, I need that from him because he's such a. I mean, I don't want to go too in depth on this topic because obviously we're fighting it out for real. That's a real situation, and he's a bit of a sociopath who maybe he's insane or maybe he's just that delusional where he feels that he can do no wrong or he just can't admit to doing wrong. But when it comes time to something that I got to live with the consequences of those actions, we got to be like, all right, this was my bad. This was my fault. I accept it and move on. Because obviously seeing something like the last TMZ article, I don't speak to him or even his lawyers or anything. I let my team handle that. Mm-hmm. But to find out he said something like to the courts, like, oh, it was his fault. He knew what he was getting into. I shouldn't be held at fault or anything. Obviously, it pisses me off, but I just learned to take my emotions out of this. It's a tough business, A lot of people, their minds are clouded by just, I guess, clout and all the bullshit where they worry too much about their image and they just forget about being a person, They just forget about how to treat other people and how to live like an actual human being. If you ever go out to LA and you just see how people are like all robots, Right. Yeah, it's a weird thing. Obviously, I don't want to get too in depth with that just because I'd rather fight it out where, it's an actual fight. It's like the press conference before a boxing match. What's the point, Yeah. Let's just get down to the dirty stuff.
You don't want this interview playing in court. Something going wrong. They're like, now it's just cut to Fred Talks fighting. They're like, wait, what?
Yeah, I mean, it's all good. It is what it is,
But do you still talk to the other friends? Like, I know you're quite close with Todd and Jason. Do you still speak to them, Natalie?
Not Natalie, but there's a lot of them that I that reached out when my dog just passed. That was nice. At the end of the day, my problem was with one guy. They were all my really close friends, and I had some of the best moments in my life with that group. But at the end of the day, it's one guy that did something stupid, couldn't own up to it, and fucked everything. So now, like, I can't really talk to those people because they're attached to him, where I completely understand that. I'm not trying to start my own subdivision squad. So I'm cool with going my own route. It's tough having to go that route. But
sorry to interrupt, but do you kind of feel that, say Todd came over right now and you're chilling with Todd for like a couple of hours, do you kind of have that feeling in the back of your mind that if you accidentally say something, he could then tell David and it could be used against you? Do you feel that, or is that the reason you don't talk to them as much?
Yeah, you always sense that, but no, I'm not. I mean, I know if I'm going to say something, I might as well just go on the podcast and say it because things will get around. I trust people, but at the end of the day, it's like it's become this team thing. Like, I'm this team, and anybody that's thinking of it like that is delusional because it's if you zoom out and you look at this small little circle of people that are still dick riding you because you gave them a career, you could literally shoot somebody in the head right in front of them and they'll turn a blind eye because they feel that, like, in order to move on with their careers or continue their careers, they can't ever tell this guy, like, hey, you need to just continue being a yes man, like 100%. And that's never been who I am. I was able to just, like, not really look at things when they were happening because everything was going so good. I really did love having all these friends and having good people around. But now looking back at it, I'm like, all right, you want to pick sides when you saw my head get smashed open and told, like, go fuck yourself, figure it out on your own. This wasn't my fault. It was yours. I'm like, all right, everyone else is crazy. I'm not getting gaslit here. I have other people that are smart that I can trust that I'm talking to for advice. And they're like, yo, this is what you need to do for closure for yourself. You need to move on. And that's the only way that you can really live the rest of your life sane and, build something real. And that's kind of what I feel like I'm doing now. Even these guys, they're all good people. I have a good crew.
You've been in there for a long time. Kyle's been on your squad. I remember seeing the really old barber shops. He's been there for years.
Oh yeah. It's funny. Our crew for the barber shop, we had Jonah in there. We had Nerf in a lot of episodes. So I'll look back at stuff and be like,
you look back and smile.
Yeah, I'll look back and I could still look back and enjoy the content that we made. It's not like I have any personal beefs with anybody that is that serious, except for that one guy. You know who it is. Yeah. So that's it.
We'll move on. Yeah. Move on to a brighter topic, a happier topic. Well, some people might not like this person. I'm a massive fan of her, Tanner.
Oh, really?
I think she's hilarious.
Yeah.
The reason why I think Tanner works so well and she's so funny is because Tanner will exactly say how it is, and she'll take the piss out of herself completely. She'll be the butt of the joke. And a lot of people, especially nowadays in this generation, they hate being the butt of the joke. They can't do it. They can't bear it whatsoever. I think Aiden Ross, one of the reasons he's so successul is he can be the butt of the joke and he can get the piss out of himself. Mm-hmm. And Tanner's able to do that really, really well. How's it been going with Tanner?
Tanner's the best. At first, I didn't realize what her strongest skills were. I was like, she does OnlyFans, she does stuff like that. But after shooting with her a few times, I realized how funny she actually is, how talented she is. And like you said, like, she could take the piss out, like, she doesn't give a fuck. And that's great. That's the type of people I need to film with. And she's genuinely a good friend. She's like a good person. She'll check on me when I'm going through stuff because, I'm always going through stuff, Fred. It's nice to have good people like that are good friends for content, and then you could also call them and count on them for stuff. So Tana's solid. She's great. We're not fucking, though, if that's what you're going to ask next. I saw you go back. I'm like, are you guys dating? No, not at all. No, we are keeping it strictly.
I wasn't going to ask that, but we can talk about it.
Yeah, friends, business partners. Sometimes that's a lot more valuable than just a quick hookup, Fred,
That's life. I'm 18, it's life advice.
You want me to tell you all the juicy stuff? There's nothing. All right? Honestly. I'd love to come on here and brag, but no, just friends.
Do you think I could interview Tanner? When's she in the UK next?
Or you do something? You're using me to no. People that do that. I know the deal. Yeah, we could set something up.
No, I'm not using you at all. Don't worry. No, interviewing you. Yeah, it's quite crazy. It was when it was at what's it called? It was at the KSI Fight Night. Mm-hmm. I think I sent you. I was in Pizza Express with my mate, and my mate friend Pedro. He was the one helping out the camera that day. So shout out Pedro. And he was like, "Oh, look at Jeff's story. Jeff's in Rome. I think you were in Rome beforehand."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like,
I saw the gladiators vaping outside.
Really?
It's the funniest shit. You guys are about to go to war inside. You're out there vaping, but they were like the touristy ones to take a picture with. You give them a couple bucks. It was just so funny to see. Like you guys are preparing for battle, then like 200 BC, and they're out there smoking vapes. It's just such a funny image.
And then he was saying, "Oh, he might be going to the fight." And I was like, "Oh, I don't think we're going to the fight. You never know." So I sent you a text on, I think it was Instagram. You replied really quick. You're like, yeah, I'll see you there. And I was like, wow, Jeff's going.
Yeah.
That's the first time I got a little bit nervous. I never ever get nervous interviews ever.
What does it stop every 30 minutes?
Every 20 minutes.
Hour, huh?
Every 20 minutes.
All right, Fred. Clock's ticking. I got to do Shirley's hair for this viral moment we're gonna get tomorrow. Who knows what'll happen?
Anyway, so then you're at the fight. And that's the first time I was like proper nervous, and I bumped into you. And it's like being in a dream. I'm not even kidding. I'm not being in a dream. Because
Same for me. When I saw you, my heart dropped. I was like, this is my moment, my first fight interview. Yeah.
Thank you for talking to me though, Jeff.
You
It means the
stand out
world.
with the red shirt on, and we talked about this earlier. I think it's smart that you brand yourself, and people can see you, and immediately they're like, "Oh, that's Fred Talks Fighting." That's great.
I get a lot of comments saying, "Is that the only T-shirt he has? Is that the only jumper he has?"
They know who you are, and that's all that matters.
It's crazy. People wanted pictures of me today. That was mental.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was like, why do you want a picture? I'm a normal 18-year-old kid who I guess, followed his dream a little bit, and they want pictures. That's insane. That's mad, isn't it?
You're a big name in this crossover boxing now. You're a face, you're a name, you're an interviewer, and it's only going up from here. And you're going to fight soon, too. I tried to set up a fight for you with that other interviewer, young kid out there who's about your size. Might be maybe 10 pounds heavier than you, but, who gives a fuck? Weight classes don't matter.
In crossover boxing, the weight classes they're a little bit mad. I'll bleep this bit, but it'll be in the UK next year. They got no idea where it's going to be.
Oh, so you are going to fight.
But they don't know where it's going to be.
You got any
And
ideas?
Any
opponents?
No. Well, anyone my weight class I'll beat.
Would you want somebody your age?
They couldn't be like 30.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Mams would want to put an 18-year-old against a 30-year-old.
It'd be weird mismatch stuff. But honestly, the boxing industry is very corrupt, and especially crossover boxing, But this Churdley's matchup is top tier. That's like some UFC matchmaking, two elite fighters going at it. I couldn't pick a better matchup.
You don't know what to expect. That's what's so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like the rankings, I would put maybe like probably. You want my boxing? My top 5.
Go ahead.
All right, I go Jake Paul, number 1. I like Slim. I think Slim's actually really naturally talented.
He hits. He's got natural power as well. Slim hits hard.
I'd probably go Slim 2. Or no, I can't put Logan and KSI down there. I'd put Logan and KSI tied for 2, even though KSI beat him. There was a little funny business going on there with the points coming off. Who gives a fuck? We don't have to go all the way back 3 years. So I'd put them tied at 2, Slim 3. Gibb looked really good in the last one. And then I'd probably have to put Churdley's and Jay at 5 right now. And keep in mind, this is before the events that happen tomorrow.
Boy, age well.
Yeah. We're going to miss you, buddy. No, who knows, man? I don't know. I don't want to come in here and say that. I worked for a solid 7 days with Chad, me and him together. I was able to coach him and give him advice on things that he had no idea about. And I know I don't have any sanctioned fights myself. I'm just a fan of fighting, and I have friends. I've seen them walk out. I've been in corners and stuff. Vinny Hacker, I cornered, walked him out. So I have a little bit of knowledge. And him knowing nothing, like he didn't know about the weigh-in. He didn't know they were going to have a stare down today. He didn't know.
Wow, it's not looking good.
Yeah, he doesn't know shit about the walkout. He knows that you walk out to a song, and he's kind of focused more on the entertainment aspect of stuff. But we're going to have a fight tomorrow.
You are prepared for war.
Yes. the most insecure, yes. They're prepared for war.
That was like the weakest yes.
I can't go in there and do anything, Maybe we'll start a war in the bleachers or something in the stands.
Distraction. Get him disqualified.
Yeah. Chad will already be sleeping by that time.
This is going to be gold, like, next week. When it gets posted, you actually know what happens.
The predictions?
Yeah.
Like, how did Jeff know all this? I'm psychic. No, I mean, I don't know. He's got a couple inches on Jay, and we're hoping to leverage that. I'm hoping that makes the experience difference. The 1 inch height difference is able to make up for the 4 years lack of experience.
Has he got more reach than Jay?
I believe so. From eyeing them today, checking them both out, Jay looks good in the videos, and obviously he's improved a lot since the Gibb fight. But the little guy, that 160 weight class, that's interesting, man. That's where I would sit, right at that 160. So maybe we'll have like a Rocky IV moment where he hits my friend and kills him, and then I'm in the corner with a towel like this, like, fuck, why didn't I throw in the towel? Yeah. And then I need to go to Russia to fight the Russian, like I need to come back.
You get a UK to fight Jay.
Yeah.
But do you think, how long will it be until your eyes done and you can fight, you reckon? A year and a half?
Yeah.
I think you told me about a year when you spoke on Zoom.
Yeah. Obviously I thought it wasn't going to be bad from the accident initially. I didn't think I was going to go back and have to get surgery, so they're just playing around with some stuff, and once they get it right and they tell me I'm good, then, I would love to. But at the moment, I'm not in a rush because, one, I got a lot of support after putting out the documentary, and if I do go out and immediately start fighting, obviously there's a lot of sparring that goes into it, and then just promoting an event that I'm going to get my head punched. It's kind of like a spit in the face.
It's the best PR right now.
Yeah. So I'm not in a rush. I'm happy with what's going on, staying busy, and yeah, we'll get there when the time is right.
Sounds pretty good. I know I got to let you go. Go do your childless hair. One more thing. Oh yeah, how do you think you'd like to be remembered when it's all said and done? When all the podcast is good, and the game's done. What do you think people like to say about you?
That's a great question. Just being a nice guy.
A stand-up, genuine dude.
Stand-up guy, yeah. That goes a long way, It's not easy. No, I mean, it is easy to be a nice guy, but just a lot of people don't do it, I think going down with inspiring people, whether they got hurt or something in their life and they're trying to overcome something and it's tough, whether they're battling depression or some sort of issues, maybe an insecurity or something from an accident. I just want to show people that if you work hard enough and you stick to it, you can get through anything. So, yeah, I never thought I would be like a motivational guy, an inspirational guy, but sometimes shit just happens in life, and you figure it out. So, yeah, we're put here, just trying to make do with what I got, the hand I was dealt, and it's going good. I can't complain.
That sounds pretty good. Then I'll be selfish and ask one more about myself. What advice you got for me? I'm 18 years old. What advice you got for me?
Right now, keep doing what you're doing. Obviously, that's like a cheap one, but you found something that you are genuinely passionate about and you can turn it into a career, and that's a beautiful thing. I think you're going to go places with this because you genuinely love what you're doing and you're so young and motivated, and if you keep that same energy, you're going to be fucking big. You just can't get an ego. That's the most important thing, because that is the death of all these careers, social media people, fighters, entertainers, anything that can crush you, which I don't think you'll get. I think you're very humble. You'll have a lot of connections. You just interviewed KSI before this, and you just strolled over here to some shithole Airbnb to interview me. So you're hungry, you're motivated, you're passionate. I think that's a dangerous combo. I think you're going to kill it. So just keep doing what you're doing. Stay humble and stay focused. Don't get on drugs.
I'll never do drugs, but one thing that's crazy, like someone told me a year ago, you were into Jeff Wittek and KSI on the same day. I wouldn't believe them. I'd ask if they're on drugs. I'd have said, "Are you okay?" That's insane. That's crazy, isn't it? And I'd always the thing that's crazy. I hate to boost your ego even more, but I'd always imagined interviewing you because I'd listened to the podcast so many times. I just every episode, sometimes listen to it twice or watch your vlogs, and I was like, "Oh, imagine when I interview Jeff, ask him that." I've always visualized it so many times, kind of manifested it almost, and then it happens just like that. It's mad, isn't it?
Get used to it. That's what I did. I still do that with people.
Right.
People that I bring into the barbershop, and I'll be cutting their hair, and I'm like, I visualize this, and now
your hair's a lot more dirty than I thought it would be.
My hair?
No. The guest hair.
Oh yeah. No, you caught me off guard there for a second. Yeah, you just never know. But yeah, just believe in yourself. You got it, and you just get started. Like I said, who knows where this will all go? This might be done in a year, influencer, crossover boxing. It might get played out, and it's already been super cringe at some times, but it's also very entertaining. Like today when that girl went to kiss KSI, like that's a highlight cringe moment that's going to make it in all these videos. But yeah, if this doesn't work out, I'm sure, you'll switch up into something new, or you'll transition. Maybe it'll be something that's close to this that you could have a smooth transition to. Maybe you'll be a commentator in UFC or something, or boxing. Who knows? When I was 21, I hadn't even started really selling weed yet. And we just had a whole conversation about that. So you're still so young, or when you're 18. Yeah. So when I was 18, I lived in Staten Island still. Then I moved to Miami, and I was in jail at 21. So just keep doing what you're doing and stay positive. You'll be fine. I think you could end up doing something completely different one day, but as long as you're happy, it's something you want to do, I think you're going to be good.
Thank you, Jeff. Give me a hug. It's my dream. Thank you so much.
Enjoy the products.
Thank you for this as well. Where can we buy these?
Oh, you can find it on my Instagram, jeffsbarbershop.com, jeffwittek.com. I mean, Jeff's Barbershop is probably easier.
I do get a lot of comments saying my haircut's terrible, so I'd have a little look.
I have to dye Charlie's hair for this moment tomorrow right now, and then he has to get to sleep, but I can give you a haircut if you come in the locker room tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay, blimey.
Haircut tomorrow in the locker room. Fred, we did it.